One fish, two fish, three fish. We're back with the season 6 Catfish remix. Lock it in. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It takes two to make a thing go wrong.
Yes. What?
It takes two to make it out of sight. It takes two to make a thing go wrong.
Oh, that's right. It takes two. Remix of the Catfish AFTERBUZZ show. It's your boy Chaos J. You already know, KAAOSJ. Find me on Twitter, and I'm gonna hand it off to my lovely co-host, part of the dynamic duo. We are bringing you back with Catfish, the remix. I can't stress this enough. It's about to be a whole new dynamic on the show, hence the dynamic duo. Only takes two. Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Olivia Gabaree. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, The Real OG.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, we've got 2 episodes for you guys because we're coming in late. So, we've got Shawny and Jack for the first episode.
Shawny
and Jack. A.K.A. Ebony and Brandon. There we go. All right. So, Shawny calls. She hits up Nev and Max. And she's telling them, I got this random call one day from a number I didn't know. And, and then all of a sudden, I text back like, who's this? And then we just start talking. Now, that should have been the red flag right there that something was kind of off. Because who does that?
No, that is so bizarre to me. It's like, new phone, who dis? And then it's like, actually, I don't know who this is, but, what's going on?
Right, like, hey, so what's up? So how was your day today?
Yeah, like they knew each other. Or did they?
Okay, so obviously the plot thickens. I mean, what did you think when she started telling them the whole story of how she came to come in contact with Jack? Were you buying it?
Well, honestly, the storylines in this show are so far-fetched that I actually did believe it, because I find myself time and time again looking at the TV and being like, bruh, are you dead? How does that happen to you? But she just seemed genuine when she was telling the story. She even made the point being like, I'm putting myself on TV and I'm embarrassing myself. Why would I lie? And I was like, okay, girl.
Right. And that was that kind of turned my skepticism down a couple notches when she said that. And I was like,
but Max was on to her.
Yeah,
and
he
I
was.
and I don't know why. When he said it, I was kind of like, meh. But I don't know.
I feel like Max has that sixth sense about him that he's starting to pick up on the bullshit. Like, he can just kind of figure out, like, something's kind of off. So we go ahead, we start to find out that, we go ahead to find out that Shawny has 3 kids and she was married and she's now separated. However, with her being separated, this was what made her vulnerable and, looking for love in all the wrong places. So she gets that random missed call, and then she begins to have this conversation that ends up being a, somewhat relationship over the phone through text.
Not even over the phone, just strictly text messaging.
Text. And again, for me, I still think, like, how is that possible? Because even this day and age, I get it. Like, the primary form of communication is text messaging, but I can't help but think, even in my dating game, I'm just like, whoa, time out. Like, at some point, we need to talk on the phone, and it's not even because I'm worried about being catfished, but it's just like, let's talk on the phone.
And maybe send a Snapchat or something. Come on now.
Like a video?
Yeah.
Like something? Can we FaceTime?
Right.
Anything. But
the weirdest part about this is this wasn't her first phone relationship. She actually had one with, like, a 92-year-old man.
Was he 92?
Well, not 92.
But he was old as dirt.
She said he could be like a great-grandpa. That's how old he sounded.
Which is low-key creepy.
Yeah, and the fact that she entertained a relationship with this strange man that called her by mistake is even weirder. But that's why I thought this could have been realistic, because it's not her first rodeo.
True. This is true. So, you know, they start to do their digging, and she's showing them pictures of Jack, and I don't know, like, I don't remember seeing where they did the research on Jack. What did they pull up when they came to looking up Jack?
Well, they looked up the phone number and they came up with an address that was attached to the phone number, and it was in between these two houses. One was owned by an old man, so that led them to suspect that it could possibly
Be the old guy from
the
before,
old dude.
Grandpa.
Yes, or it also belonged to this woman named Angel, you know, 30s, similar age to Shawny or Ebony, whatever we're calling her. And she was kind of like, okay, maybe it could be her because a woman named Angel used to work with my husband, and this woman
Right.
worked in a hospital, and so did the other woman. So then
And there was some
like,
kind of jealousy there.
Yeah.
Something like that. Right.
I kind of felt like that was the road that we were going down at this point.
Right. And I do. Okay. So now, yeah, that brings it back to my memory. So, because then I was thinking, like, well, could it be? But then at the same time, and again, I don't even know why at this point, 6 seasons in, I still question certain things.
Yeah.
But I just kept questioning, like, but if it was this random chick that was her, you know, her husband's coworker, why would she continue to go through texting and maintaining this relationship? But then they showed the pictures, and I was like, okay. And then they say, you know, she was, you know, super pro LGBT. So I was like, okay, so maybe she's, you know, she's looking for love too, and you know,
Yes.
she didn't think that maybe that she would be open to even entertaining a relationship if she knew she was a woman. But maybe after, you know, feelings are involved, she's like, well, maybe I can cross sides. Who knew? But then yeah, we find out that yeah, that's not exactly it either.
Nope.
Would you like to tell them what happens next?
Well, okay, so they contacted Jack. That's what he is to us at this point.
Jack.
And he
That's such a generic name, by
Yes,
the way.
and they
for a
asked-
dude with dreads. I'm pretty sure in the history of dreaddom, there's no man named Jack with dreads. I'm just putting it out there.
Well, he suggested a park that Nev, Max, and Shawny could meet him at. So he rolls up on a bicycle, and immediately his face is like, his jaw is dropped.
Now, when I first saw that, I kept thinking, like, is he out of breath? Like, was it like a long ride?
And I felt like it was super sketchy too, because I was like, oh my God, this guy's so weird. Like, he asked to meet them in a random park. Now he's just rolling up on a bike. Super sketchy, but he wasn't even
and it's all about
sketchy.
the power of editing, because the way they edited right before they even revealed him pulling up, they just showed her face and she had that look, and it was like a look of shock and like, I can't believe this.
Yeah.
So again, at this point, I am kind of team Shawny, and I'm kind of thinking that everything she's telling me is straight up.
But once you saw his face, though, I knew this ain't it.
Yeah,
Someone's
no.
lying
Yeah,
here.
exactly. Because he looked like he was more shocked to see her
Oh,
than she was
100%.
him. And the plot continues to get thicker.
It was crazy, though, because once Nev brought up, he was like, you know, how did this happen? She told you that it was Shawny. And I was like, yeah. Wouldn't you think it's weird that your ex-wife's name is Shawny?
Shawny,
and
right,
now
when-
some random chick? And he's like, she ain't even Shawny.
Right, her name is Ebony.
Oh, that
burn.
takes some crazy bitch.
Right?
Crazy bitchdom. We need to make it
But-
like an adjective.
Crazy bitchdom.
Yeah.
But at the same time, drastic measures call for drastic actions. And we, at least at some point, I like to say, and you probably can relate, that we've all done something crazy in the name of love. You know, and it's something that's low-key out of your character, but you're just like, no, like, it's okay. You justify it because you love that person, and you're like, no, like, I'm fighting for this. And at the end of the day, that's really what it boiled down to, was that she was fighting for her marriage, that she really still wanted her marriage. She wanted him to be there with the kids and her, but at the same time, you know, he couldn't keep it in his pants. Like, my man was a Rolling Stone minus the kids.
Exactly.
And he was kind of cold-blooded when he pulled up. Like, after, granted, he was mad, and he had every right to be, because he thought he was, meeting Ebony, which once we got to see the picture, or Shawny, once we saw the picture, Shawny was okay. She was all right. And so he was mad, and he was talking about, well, what did he say? He said something that alluded to the point, to the fact, like, he's down to still be in a relationship with her, but he still wants to be able to do other things.
Exactly.
Basically, and then they say, oh, so you want your cake and eat it too. And he's like, yeah, well, I don't really agree with that statement.
But, like, if your cake's sitting in front of you, like, you're not just gonna stare at it.
But you know what? And this is coming just from the fat boy at heart. I agree with that in the sense of it's a dumb saying. Because
like you agree with that.
No, it's a dumb saying. Why would you obviously, if you're going to have some cake in front of you, if some cake is going to be within your vicinity, you should be able to eat it. So I don't feel like that's an accurate statement to make when you're trying to reference someone that wants to have an exclusive relationship but still have all the fringe benefits of being single. Like,
well, that's like he wants to eat his cake, but he also wants to have his cake to, enjoy and maybe eat later. That makes sense because he has his wife.
Maybe he has his cake, but then he wants some pie. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's like saying you want to have your cup of water and drink it too. Well, yeah, because I'm thirsty, bro.
And he is in fact thirsty.
He was very thirsty. My man was dehydrated,
but
actually.
The thing is, as much as I don't agree with what Ebony did, I do agree that we all tend to get lost in the sauce sometimes when it comes to love and relationships. And I can't imagine how I would be acting if the father of my children, a man that I was with for 16 years, was pulling this BS on me. Of course I would be mad.
3 kids in, too.
Yeah, right. However, I definitely see why she did it. Her justification started to make me be on her side more, because if they're able to carry this relationship as 2 fictional characters and they're getting along so well and they love each other, they're still who they are. They just have different names.
Right.
So it's kind of like she's serving it up to him. Look, you were in love with me for 6 months.
What was she serving up, though?
She was serving up some
of that cake?
Some of the cake, I guess. She just came up and she was like, look, we got along for this long. You fell in love with me again. We were able to make it work when I wasn't Ebony, so why can't we work it out when I'm
Shawny?
Or
when I'm Ebony. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right, and I agree. Granted, I feel like there should have been some kind of other way that she could have done it that did not involve catfish, but if that were the case, we wouldn't be here and we wouldn't have that episode.
Yeah.
But you could tell that Max played it off cool when they got back in the car, but you could tell he was heated.
Max always gets the most mad.
Yeah, he's like, you lied to me.
Neve's like, we're not really marriage counselors, but and Max is like, look, when are you gonna effing leave this guy? He doesn't love you.
He's disrespecting you left and right.
He's just telling her how it is, and I felt kind of bad for her, but.
And then even when they when they're back in the house and they're having this, come to Jesus meeting and they're talking, like, I just, and they're like, thank you, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, and granted, I did feel that it was a heartfelt apology to them for misleading them, but I love the look on Nev and Max's face. They accepted it, but they didn't really accept it.
Yeah.
They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, they both were like,
you just wasted our time.
Yeah, you could have probably solved this without us. And they
Pretty
could
much.
have, but it's more entertaining for us if they don't.
Exactamundo. That's why we're here. All right, so the way it concluded, what did you think about the conclusion, the way it ended?
I mean, it was nice now that he's more a part of his children's life and they're able to have a respectful civil relationship.
Exactly. I mean, and they both looked 10 times better. Mm-hmm. Like, you can tell that they were in a better space. Right. I mean, just like his whole personality, his whole aura was like brighter.
Exactly.
And hers was brighter.
And they even
I'm glad
physically looked
right?
nicer.
They did. Like, she took all that crap out of her head. because I was not feeling it. She took out the tacks. That was great. And I'm not hating on the tacks, but they were a little too much. And this is coming from somebody that used to rock the green contacts hardcore. Like, that was my staple.
Really?
Yeah, but you wouldn't have known. Like, if I would have rocked them, you'd be like, oh, Kelli, you have pretty eyes.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, girl. Because mine didn't look like, wow. Like I had Slimer in my face. Anyways, but they both, you could tell that they were both in a better space. And that they were getting along great, and they were really, co-parenting and communicating. So it was great. That was, for that to be the first episode, granted it had that nice little twist in it, but I felt like it ended pretty nicely. It was, happily ever after type ending. All right. So,
Moving on.
and scene. Now that we've concluded that, let's go into episode 2. We've got Alante and Nevaeh,
Yes.
which is also heaven spelled backwards, FYI.
Oh.
Yeah. Little fun
See,
fact.
I didn't know that because I just sounded it out on my
You're like,
my cheat
Nevaeh.
sheet.
Yeah. Heaven. All right. So you have Alante. He's from Saginaw, Michigan, has a 3-year-old, and then Nevaeh is from Detroit, Michigan, and I think she was like, what, 24? He's 25.
Yeah,
like, they're
around the
real
same
close in
age.
age. And then Alante tells us he's been talking to this woman for 8 years. Like, so at this point, they're way beyond the, oh, I love you. They're talking about maybe eloping in Vegas, and they're having deep conversations.
This is the shit that I don't, when it comes to catfish, this is what I do not understand. How are you going to have an 8-year relationship with
8
somebody
years.
when you have never even seen their face, when you've never physically touched them, when they ignore you for months on end? It's like, come on, bro.
So basically
Wake
what you're
up.
saying is that in no way, shape, or form would you ever maintain a text,
Oh my God.
darkened room video chat,
No.
8-year relationship with a dude.
I'm too swift
Even
for that.
even if it's
it wouldn't even be an 8-hour relationship, 8-day relationship.
you like, I need to FaceTime with you right now.
Right now. Add them on Snapchat immediately. Because you never, even social media, no one you gotta see it for yourself.
Yeah.
You never know these days.
Yeah, no, you really don't. You really don't. And then what else is crazy is that it was usually, typically it's the guy that pursues, the person that ends up being the catfish. But in this case, she actually found him online and hit him up like, yo, what's up,
Slid
Shawny? She slid in them DMs. She did. And then you have the standard fare where, oh, let's meet up in the mall. Let's meet here. Something came up. I'll make it up to you. And again, I am king of BODs. And by BODs, I mean benefit of the doubt. I will give someone the benefit of the doubt. And I'll give you at least 2 chances. Maybe 3 if I'm really, really
3?
feeling you. I gotta be feeling you. And by that point, for you to earn 3, because you gotta earn those. For you to earn three chances to screw up, we have had to establish some sort of really strong rapport and foundation. It doesn't have to be super, super serious, but it has to be enough to make me feel like, no, this is worth investing in. And I again, one, I'm never going to have a relationship with someone for 8 years and we not meet. But 2, we only gonna schedule something to meet and hang out, and you stand me up twice.
You see, that's where we differ. Twice.
Well, that's probably the inner thirst that comes with every man.
It has to, because if I'm physically showing up at a place and I'm like dolling myself up, getting ready to meet you, getting ready to go, and you stand me up,
It's a
never
wrap.
mind seeing you twice. I will never even answer you again.
Easy.
Like, no.
Like, you just go straight up ghost.
No, but it's not ghost. You just ghosted me. Maybe if you told me before I got to the location and said, look, I'm running a little late, or like, I can't make it, I have a conflict. But if I seriously get all the way there and then you pull some BS like, sorry, I got stuck at work, call you later. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because my thing is if this were real and if the circumstances were actually true, why would you wait till the very last minute to say, oh, hey,
Exactly.
sorry, something came up?
When you know
shoulda-
that he's already there. That's
when
mean.
you already, yeah, you know, because obviously you say, yo, meet me at the mall at 5 o'clock, and something comes up, you probably know something's coming up at 3 o'clock.
No
So I'm gonna need
kidding.
you to hit me up before I drive all the way out to wherever it is that we're gonna meet to get there. Mad disrespectful. So for me, depending on what it is, if you got a bomb ass excuse, you might get a second chance.
Yeah, well, I would say maybe I would give a second chance if the circumstances were different, but if at that point I didn't know what your face looked like, then you
I mean,
bet
but
your
you had
ass I'm
pictures
not.
though.
That's not good enough. I need to see your face in movement. I would be like, send me a picture with a spoon on your nose. Like, you know, just so it's like something special.
Hold this sign, write these letters,
Yeah.
write this equation out.
Exactly.
You know, and then something else that I thought was really weird was, you know, they would video chat, which is a first, at least for me and my catfish watching experience. They would video chat, but it would always be at night in a dark, dark room.
Yeah.
So you really couldn't see her face.
That's
Kind of
some
low key spooky.
BS.
It is. And you know, and it would always be, you know, oh well, my hair's messed up. Oh, I don't really look good right now, so I'm not gonna turn on the lights. And I think because she did that, that bought her a little bit of time and you know, some BODs. She got some BOD coupons on that one. Because you think, okay, well, if they're willing to video chat with me, even though it's in a dark room, I can kind of see a little something. I can see a silhouette,
Right.
something. So you think, okay, well, if they were catfishing me, maybe they wouldn't do that. Because typically, a catfisher never, their webcam's always broke. Their phone camera's always broke. Like, you know, or they have a laptop that doesn't have a webcam, which is, I don't even think there are laptops made
Exactly.
without webcams anymore. They're crappy webcams, but even the cheapest, the
Or
cheap
just
laptops.
like go to an Apple store. Like, I don't give a fuck.
People
You
do.
better like, I need to see you. If you want a chance with me, like you
Fellas,
have to
y'all hear that?
bust your ass
If
for that
you want
one.
a chance, if you want a chance with the OG, you best have your game correct.
But it's just, you know, I don't have sympathy for when people fall for this dumb crap. I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess love could get the best of you, and maybe since they were FaceTiming and talking on the phone, it was a little bit more believable. And even when he said we FaceTimed before, I kind of was like, oh, okay. This is just kind of weird. Maybe she's married or something. But then he didn't even really come out and say that I never saw her face. He was like, you know, it's kind of dark, like I can't see your face dark.
Right.
And then that's when I was like, okay, this chick's
It's
a
like,
liar.
yeah, and then so you take that and then you add on to, because at this point the shit is getting thick, and you know, then the fact that she disappears randomly for like 2-3 months, and then
Yeah.
you know, and then just reappears like, oh hey, so what's up? How you been? What'd you do yesterday? Wait, it's December. I haven't talked to you since like July.
Exactly.
What's the deal? What, I mean, what'd you think about that? Would you ever, in the history
Okay,
of
what do you
Olivia-dom,
think?
but yeah, pretty much no.
No.
Pretty much that's a no.
Absolutely not. Like months at a time. Days are too much.
Low key, it really is.
That's not cool with me.
Not even a little bit. And then what was crazy was that he said that there would be periods when she would disappear that he would start entertaining, talking to other women, but then as soon as she came back, he'd drop them like it was nothing. And these are real women. These weren't even women that, you know, he met through Tinder or some random, you know, dating app or online. Like, these are actually physically, like, I can physically see you, but I'm gonna drop you
For my virtual relationship.
for this virtual joint over here. And it is this is wrong, but what I said was he was sprung without the young because he would drop real women in favor of Nevaeh. And that's pretty much how I summarized it, because that's pretty much what it was. And I get it. You can build an emotional relationship with someone over the phone and, you know, through phone conversations and text messages and things like that. A lot of people say when it comes to, like, you know, when there's infidelity in relationships and there's someone else involved, sometimes that relationship starts, it doesn't even start out physical, it starts out emotional.
Those are the worst kind.
They really are.
Emotional cheaters,
Right.
not physical
Because then you
cheaters.
can't, I mean, because the physical thing is like, maybe you can get past that, but it's like you invest emotions into someone else. What are we doing?
Exactly.
Why are we here?
tough one.
All right, so what happens when? Tell me about when Neve talks to the two guys.
When he talks to
Right, because remember they start searching on the friend. They start searching the mutual friends.
Right, and this is what I can't understand too, because I don't know about you, but I would have been going all through this chick's Facebook, especially if she was pulling some sketchy shit on me like this, you know? I would be looking through her friends, looking through her photos. Honestly, after watching Catfish, I probably would have Google searched her photo myself anyway.
So basically, you would have been Magnum PI all day.
Yes, and this is why, what season are we in now?
6.
6?
Yeah.
Come on, people. You know all the tricks. Utilize them.
This is true.
But so Neve is contacting men that Nevaeh is friends with, Nevaeh, and basically hearing the same thing over and over again, that she contacted them and was flirting with them and trying to start a little relationship. One guy said it was looking like they were probably going to hang out soon. And so then it's like, okay, this is obviously this is really weird if she's supposed to be faithful to this one man, but she's, you know, having all these men on the side.
Right.
And even the fact that this has been going on for 8 years now, and
That
these
is
people
such a
are
long
just
time to
talking to
invest
her
in
now.
anyone.
That's crazy to me. Think of all the changes you've been through in 8 years, and all the like relationships or situationships you've been through.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot. And basically all these men are from the same area, so she's the town catfish. And not only is she the town catfish, but these guys know each other. They're
Right.
friends, they're acquaintances, and that's what I can't understand.
Is how you don't have a conversation about this at some point, like yo, I'm talking to this breezy right
What's
here.
that
Check
song
it out.
by Usher and R. Kelly? It's the same girl.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
that.
exactly. I mean, but how do you not have that conversation at some
I
point?
don't
Like
know.
most men, at least to their friends, you know, reveal at some point, like, oh, you know, I'm talking to this shorty, or I'm talking to that
Exactly.
girl, or whatever the case is.
And I don't know if it's just the petty in me, but if she was writing on other people's walls and liking other people's pictures, I probably would have seen it. Not only would I have seen it, but the fact that it's guys that you know, wouldn't you look at her page and be like, damn, how does she know this one, that one, and the other one? That's pretty weird. She's from Detroit. Why does she know all my hometown homies, you know?
Exactly. Okay, so we find out, you know, not only do they have 46 friends in common, but they're all from Saginaw. And then there's 23 mutual friends with LaToya, which is a person that their number is registered to. Okay, so you've got that little tidbit, and then as they're driving from where to where, who knows, we get a call from Sierra, which has got to be the most unique, to put it nicely, spelling of Sierra that I have ever seen in my life. It's literally C, as in the sea, body of water, and then era. Like someone said, air, A-H, C, air, oh yeah, girl, that's nice. I like that.
I like that.
I'm naming that. When I have this baby girl, Sierra, that's beautiful. Anyways, I'm sorry, I just had to talk about that. So she calls Nev and Max, and then she says, "Hey, you know, you guys are catfish. Are you really catfish?"
That sounds so weird. On the phone, she's like, catfish? It's like she was calling to order a pizza or something.
Right? Like, yeah,
Hey,
can I get that fried with
Papa
some chips on the
John's?
side?
Is that you?
Right. Like,
So
can I get some tartar
weird.
sauce on the side? And then, you know, so then she says, hey, let's meet up. They meet in some random lot. We find out that Sierra knows Alante, and that she's close friends with Nevaeh, and she really just wants Nevaeh to come clean. Now, I'm not going to lie. For me, I was thinking Sierra's Nevaeh,
I was thinking
and she
that
was
as
just
well.
playing them.
And she was chickening out.
Exactly.
I 100% thought so, because that situation is just so bizarre to me, and she was acting a little weird and sketchy about it.
Right. And Max even said, he said, this is weird, sketchy, and amazing all at the same time. and then, you know, she says, oh, you know, she was very forthcoming with her information when it came to Nevaeh, and you know, and the fact that she was in on the whole thing. She didn't want to be in the middle anymore. She just wanted Nevaeh to come clean. So then she offers a caller, and she kind of walks away. And I was expecting her to put it on speakerphone.
Yeah.
And she didn't. So when she walked away, I was like, is she really on a phone call? I thought she was just faking.
Me too.
Because, I mean, I've done this before. Like, hit my phone so the ringer goes off. I'm like, oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Are you serious? Oh, dude, I'm right there.
She was like, you heard Catfish is in town? Like, it was this, I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
It was so
the way
over
she handled it.
dramatized.
Yeah.
You know, and then what she say? Yeah, it's time to come clean, bruh.
Yeah.
Okay. So then she comes back and she tells Nev and Max, hey, you know, she said she's down to meet. Let's meet in the park in an hour. Mm-hmm. So then they go and they go get Alante.
I wonder what this anxiety is like. Imagine being in the car driving to the park. I would be freaking out. Because
Right.
8 years, all of a sudden coming to an end. Oh my God, I would pass out.
Right. And then there's a part of you that, you know, every part of you wants to know what's going on, but there's a part of you that doesn't because you're afraid, like, it's not going to be what I want it to be.
Coming to an end.
Exactly. It's going to be, you know, and I'm going to lose everything all at once.
Yep.
Which is tough. Okay, so then they go and they get Alante and they pull up, and yeah, just go ahead and just tell them.
Well, obviously he realizes that his best friend and his god sister is in fact the love of his life that he's been talking to for 8 years.
Which, granted, I know that was just his god sister, but it was still kind of creepy and incestuous a little bit. Because they had talked about, just within that little makeshift barbecue that they had, you know, like, yeah, I'm his god sister and I just want him to meet her finally and just move, you know, and figure out what's going on and all this stuff. And they just, you know, my god sister is, oh, it's my best friend, it's my this, it's my that. And they just put so much on their friendship and, you know, and that was his god sister. It's like, but you talking to him emoting over the phone.
That's why this is what I can't stand. Lying, okay, obviously that's unacceptable, but, you know, fudging the truth, exaggerating a little, okay, but making up stories out of literally nowhere, just concocting this whole entire person and lifestyle, and she was probably telling him all types of stories that never even happened or existed. That's the worst kind of, that's the craziest kind of person.
It is, because then you think about past episodes where you see, like, you know, there was one episode where the girl claimed to have had a kid, and then the kid
insane.
Dies.
It's
and
like
then
you're writing a book or something.
Legit.
That's wild.
First off, who has that much time?
And that's why this is the worst part, because Erica, who's the god sister, obviously has a very close relationship with him. So I'm sure he confided in her a lot about Nevaeh. Am I right?
Right.
And she's sitting there, like, consoling him and listening to him
and knowing that it's her.
That's that's gross.
It is. It's very gross, but it's also mind-boggling and mind-blowing at the same damn time. So what's crazy is that she even says at one point that he was talking to Nevaeh and she was on the couch with him talking to him as Nevaeh, and he wasn't paying. First off, how are you that oblivious? But he's off in his thing.
She's a sicko. She's sick.
And then she said she ended up, leaving the room, and then he was just so into that conversation, he didn't even realize that she had left the room, and the whole, like, it was just crazy. And then, what did you think when she gave them her initial explanation for why she did it?
That I didn't think was a valid explanation.
Yeah,
at all.
Like, Sierra had a crush on him, and she didn't want Sierra to have a crush, and she didn't want to be in the middle of it, and she wanted to show Sierra that
he was willing to talk to other girls.
Females.
But the thing that gets me the most is this wasn't her first time.
No.
This account existed before this situation because she would use it to contact guys with girlfriends so the girlfriend could see if he would respond.
Right. Yeah. Like she was like
She's like Nancy Drew over there.
just a little bit. But with a slight twist. And it was just kind of weird. So that first initial meeting, you know, I was just like, okay, not rolling. He left and he's just like, yeah, like it was just kind of weird because he's like, yeah, like kind of got me like tearing up. And that was like he showed some feeling, but he was still kind of low key like gangster about it. Like got tears in my eyes. I was
I'm
like,
wiping this shit off.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna have to take that approach next time. Like if I'm watching like, you know, The Notebook, I'm gonna be like, yeah.
And he went home and watched more Catfish.
Ryan Gosling got tears in my eyes. Yeah, like, and it's like, yeah, I don't know that whole thing. So then we jump into them having another sit down, and she goes further into trying to explain that, you know, part of what she did was for his own good.
Yeah. Which
made zero sense.
0 cents.
And then what did you think about when she kind of took it to a whole nother direction and said something about the fact that she was dating one of his homeboys?
Oh, irrelevant. So irrelevant.
But was it? Because to me that kind of let me know that part of what she did was revenge. In a twisted way, because she said you knew he wasn't a good dude, but you didn't tell me.
I think that...
And she was salty.
She was salty, but to go to that extreme for
Oh,
revenge...
I'm not justifying
No,
it.
exactly. But the thing is she had such a great relationship with him that this is something that even if she wanted to get revenge on him, she probably could have gone about it a different and more effective way. The fact that she had to maintain this revenge for 8 years.
8 years.
I can't get over this 8 years.
I can't.
part.
No, I can't. Like,
And-
we'll probably be talking about that next week. We'll be like, 8
Exactly.
years.
And I feel like she was just fishing for reasons. Yeah, you knew he was a dog and you still like this, that, and the other thing. But he said to her, look, he was showing you he was a dog. Like, how did
right,
you know?
like, why did I need to tell you?
Yeah, it's open your eyes, girlfriend. Like, it's pretty obvious that he doesn't want to be with you. The fact that what would he even say to her? Like, he's just not that into you. Like,
right.
come
like,
on,
you
you
know
have
he's,
to know.
you know, right. You know he's got chicks on the side, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, like,
He
like
strung
you
you
said,
along for, how long was it? Years, right? 7 years. But this relationship was going on for 8
8 years. And you gotta wonder, were they going around, like, was it simultaneously? Like, were they happening at the same time? So while she was getting played with his homeboy for 7 years,
Exactly.
was she also maintaining this whole Nevaeh act for that other,
Well, she must have,
for the other 8 years?
It probably initiated with the Sierra situation, and then you know, she took it over and justified it because of her relationship. However, if their relationship was going on for 7 years, that means from the jump she was revengeful.
Right. Not only that, but then she also talked about how she would only get, you know, she would always get like backhanded compliments where they say, "Oh, you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl." I forget what the other ones were. You know, like, "Oh, you're okay," but basically
Yeah.
it wasn't enough to quantify her feeling like she was adequate being just who she was.
Right.
And she loved the attention she got as Nevaeh. Because, you know,
Exactly.
Nevaeh was a model and everybody liked her and everybody just gave her all this attention. And she wanted that attention for herself and she wasn't really getting it. So that was also another reason that we find out later on after, you know, we get through all the bullshit of why she did this to her friend who's supposed to be her best friend and her godbrother. What did you think about that follow-up?
Well, I understand.
Well, first off, let's I don't want to skip over. So then she says, okay, well, enough is enough. Like I've said I'm sorry. It's not enough. I'm gonna leave. And then he said, because he said this. They said, so is this relationship over? And he's like, yeah. He said, you could win the Mega Millions tomorrow.
I know.
And I still ain't talking to you. I was like, cold blooded.
But well, rightfully so.
Yeah, that's 8 years that you lied to me.
Imagine debriefing.
You played with my emotions for 8
from
years.
that meetup right there, from the time that he found out who it really was. He was probably so broken.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because at that point, he's invested all this time into somebody that he'll never get to be with
my
because they
God.
don't exist.
And you probably feel like such a fool after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did I not know? How did I fall for
You
this?
reevaluate everything, and then your trust is completely
And he's
shattered.
probably replaying every single aspect of the situation in
Every
his
conversation,
head. Every conversation.
every secret share.
Oh my God. And then just like putting all the pieces together. You gonna have to go to therapy after that.
Legit. That like they should have a catfish therapy.
No, they do. I was
show.
reading up. Well, not a show,
Right.
but they make sure that they have professionals that deal with the cast after the
Okay.
fact to make sure that they're okay.
Well, that's good to know, and that probably makes sense because you see like a lot of the wrap-ups, the conclusions of these episodes, like they are completely okay for the most part. It's almost rare, I want to say, that you see and they're still like, yeah, I mean, you know, every day is just still kind of rough.
Yeah,
Like,
but they
they're-
can't look like a fool on TV.
This is true. I
Gotta
mean,
shake
more
it
than
off.
they already have.
Yeah, it was like I embarrassed myself enough.
So then we get the wrap up, and we see both of them sitting in the same place, and they seem to be cool again. What'd you think about that?
I mean,
Could you do it? Could you?
I admire him for being able to do that because I would never look at her the same. Every single time I would look at her, I'd be like, "You're a liar. I can't trust you. You're crazy.
You
leave me
tugged at
alone."
my heartstrings
Yeah,
for revenge that really shouldn't even been revenge. Like you shouldn't even.
exactly. I can't understand it, but
Yeah.
to each his own, I suppose.
Right, and then at the same time, she was able to still. She's a master manipulator,
Right.
to a certain extent, and she was able to manipulate her way in there once his dad died, and he was vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So I guess it works because she ended up getting her own man, and she had a baby in the
Having
oven,
a baby.
bun in the oven and all that. I'm not gonna lie. At first, when they showed up, I was like, "Wait, are they together now?"
I thought that baby was his.
I was
but
like-
she said it's a mailman, but obviously it's not really.
Well, she was joking, right?
Yeah, but she never said whose it was.
She did not. She did not. I just hope that it really was not his.
Please.
That was
please.
kind of, yeah. Okay, so that pretty much concludes episode 2 of Catfish. You got any predictions? Let's jump into predictions for next week. I mean, what did you think of the
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh wow!
Wow,
Is that
that's new.
Hey,
I like that. Okay, so what did you think of the first 2 episodes in terms of the direction of the season, and where do you think it's going to go from here? Because even though we got a lot of the same thing, I felt like for me we still got some twists.
I mean, I'm seeing a lot of lies, a lot of people getting played, some tears, maybe some happy endings. I don't know. Maybe we're starting relationships here. We're finding love.
What I want to see, I agree with you 100%. But what I would like to see is, I remember they did it a little bit in season 5 where they went outside the United States. I want to see some of that again.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I would like to see some
cool.
more traveling outside the United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. We're going to see a lot more lies. We're a lot more twist. Sadly, we're going to see a lot of people lying to get on Catfish just to meet some kind of end goal.
So
It
yeah,
is what it
internet.
is.
I don't know. These people do anything to be on TV.
It's not that serious because that's not a good look. That's not how I want to be on
and
TV.
honestly, do you even remember half the people after?
No.
Like that's good and well for that 45 minutes of my life, but then I have no idea who the hell you are.
I'm not thinking about you.
No, I'm sorry. So if you are trying to catfish people to get on television, do yourself a favor and don't do it.
You need to cut it. All right, so that concludes.
We're getting cut.
Yeah, we're getting that wrap it up music. Okay, so that concludes Catfish episodes 1 and 2. I'm your host, Chaos J, KAAOSJ, on Twitter, on Instagram, Chaos_Oceans31. 31 flavors of waviness in your face. Where can they find you?
I'm Olivia Gabaree. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter, @thereal_O_G.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Catfish Season 6 remix. Hit us up in the comments. Make sure to leave us some reviews on iTunes. 5 stars, 4 stars, the rest don't count. See you on the next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.